I have some thoughts about that. Maybe we'll do it at an IRL event at a dinner. Maybe it's a World Union dinner. Maybe it's a 10KTF dinner.
I think it's gonna be a damn dinner.
Yeah,
I mean,
dinner.
yeah,
Just coin that right now. The damn dinner.
damn dinner. That sounds awesome.
Welcome everybody back to the damn show. It's been an exciting couple of weeks over at 10KTF NFT space. We have an exciting guest later today with Kashvi. He's the community manager in the world of women. But we also have a lot of things to talk about in 10KTF world. I mean, we just had our first live stream, which was rugged by Washington, but we went ahead anyway. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about some of the updates that happened in 10KTF and how we're feeling about things going forward. So first of all, maybe new background. How's it going? Are you excited about the meetup that you have going on soon?
Yes, can't wait. So I'm in London right now and flew in just to participate in this 10KTF grunch that it's happening tomorrow. Tina loves noodles. You know, I love you, Tina. And she organized all of this. I think we're going to be around 15 people, probably 15 grailed all around the area, like from London, rest of the UK. Someone is coming from Paris. Someone is coming from other parts of Europe as well. And I can't wait. I'm going to report at New Tokyo News on Sunday and then on the next episode as well. But yeah, very happy and pumped about this in real life.
And Diamond, I noticed that you have the wolf back in the back, but you also have Lambos on the moon. How are things? And tell us about your new background.
Lambos on the moon would be nice, but I'm trying to take a rocket ship to Uranus, if you get what I'm saying, y'all. Yeah, Boss Wolf is back this week. Decided to let the blur out of the background and let him through one time. I'm not groveling to him at all, but I'll at least give him a little screen time. It was a beautiful piece of artwork that somebody from the Possible We Knew team threw together. I like this piece of art a lot more than I like that motherfucker always. Man.
What's going on? What do I hear? There he is. There he is.
It's like nails on a chalkboard. You know what I'm saying?
What? How much more are you going to do, Boss Wolf? Enough is enough. Unbelievable. But yeah, so I mean, we had our first live stream on Thursday. So let me set this up. We thought, and for good reason, we thought that crate reveal was going to be on Thursday, but around 3 or 4 p.m. Eastern, we got a notification from Wagmi-san. Very unlike him. So that was new for him to tweet that early, saying, hey, actually, crate reveal is next week. And so we were supposed to go live at 4:30, and we're scrambling like, I don't know if you've seen the SpongeBob gif of like all them little SpongeBob running around with fire. We're like, what do we do? What do we do? We got a show. We promised the giveaway. What do we do? What do we do? And in the end, we went live anyway. We were joined by a couple of guests from the community with Toshi and Francois, and all in all, and the A-Bomb, sorry, exactly. A-Bomb was there as well. And all in all, that was incredible. That was so much fun. I don't know how you guys felt about it, maybe.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was amazing. And having also these community members just come in and just talk and just react in the moment that the tweets were coming out, putting the Discord live on Twitch as well, and the copy pasta and people say, hi, mom. Hey, hello, damn show. That was incredible. I loved it.
Yeah. Diamond, what are your thoughts?
It's freaking rocking. I had a great time as far as like that immersive experience. I'm always tuned in to 10KTFM when the tweets are going off. But like this week, we got to take that immersive experience up one notch leading up to 10KTFM, but not overlapping, right? So like keeping those separate pieces, but like it's not so bad to have both mediums going either. But by the time I got to like the second hour of the KTFM, I was like, oh man, this has been a hell of a day.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You gotta manage the energy levels.
And then the rug set in and I was like, damn, like just got rugged. Like rugged again, man. Come on, 10KTF.
My favorite thing was the having Grilled members watching, commenting, and then we're able to put up their comments live on screen and get that reaction. And it makes me even more bullish on the idea of the damn live when we do that in the future, because that was the first experience of us doing something live with community members. We're going to do one next week for the actual crate reveal. So
Yeah, the bet is still on.
yeah, the bet is still on. For those who don't know, maybe do you want to set up the bet? Because I'm going to win.
Yeah, we have a bet, and also Diamond. I don't know if you read about it, but you have to tell us now if you're in or if you're out.
Yeah. Tell
Right
us.
now.
I
So
don't- what the fuck is going on?
we're gonna open our crate.
I'll
Okay.
play Spain. Got the damn what's the stake? I mean, but I'm game.
There's a damn bet.
We're gonna reveal our crates. Like, I don't know how many you have, but we decided on that the first 3 that we open, we're gonna make a, like, count how many points we get, and the person that on the first 3 reveals gets the highest points wins. What happens then? The other 2 people will have to wear that PFP. So if it's atareh that wins, we're gonna wear his mutant on Twitter and Discord for like 3 days at least.
Yeah.
All right.
I want to make it a full week. I want to go ahead.
It's a lot a week. Oh my god, that mutant is not so pretty.
Yes, all the time. I'm excited for y'all to be rocking my dude in his chair, and no one knows like what's going on, who it is, what's going. It's low key alpha. I'm not going to get into too much of that here, but
Okay.
just know my PFP means the world to me, and it will break my heart when I have to put up one of yours if I end up losing this time. It will take a piece.
No, you're all gonna wear Regina.
I'm just
You're all gonna wear
I'm gonna
Regina.
say you
I
guys are
know
gonna
it's
look
gonna happen.
you guys are gonna look fantastic with my little tone with the glasses. Like you guys are gonna be rocking. Everybody's gonna be like, damn, maybe damn Diamond. You got some mutant style going on there.
Oh my! I don't know if this is like worse than Boss Wolf or what. This is probably.
Sure. They're like, dude, diamonds, that bullet, there ain't no way you could afford it, man. There ain't no way.
That they were all gonna see Alessandro Michele with a mullet. We know that it's because of Diamond Hands.
Inspiration. We know where it started. Actually, I'm looking forward to the photo of both of you. You know how there's that photo of, oh, what's that actor? There's an actor that looks looks very similar to Alessandro. People share this photo all the time. Jared Leto.
Yeah, they were twins
They're
at the Met Gala.
Yeah,
They're screened on like some gala on the red carpet. I'm looking forward to the photo of you, Diamond, and Alessandro, both with their mullet, twins on the red carpet. That I'm looking forward to. That's going to be iconic, and it's going to happen through 10 KTF. Let's go.
if only the gospel team could make me one of those skulls, one of those heads. I don't know if you saw Jared Leto the year he was carrying one of those.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Just make me a little diamond head. Possible if you're listening, I can get a little diamond head to roll with the party. You know,
It's got to have the mullet. As long as it has the mullet, we're good.
and of course, I'll be the one spray painting my hair dark and going for the homage to Alessandro. You know,
Yeah. Naturally. So that's the bet. G's in the chat for atareh. G's in the chat for Meby. Now, see, I'm talking like I'm doing a live stream right now.
as long as I'm in the chat for diamond hands. All right.
But yeah, I'm excited to do more live streams. They're going to do another one on Thursday on the actual reveal. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And let's jump into some of the stuff that happened in 10 KTF this past week. We talked a lot about this on the live, and so go check that out on the YouTube channel as well if you want the full thoughts. We're going to spend some time on it and reflect on what's happened in the past week. But for that, in the moment reaction to the news of the tweets that Blogging Set set up, check out the live stream. First tweet that we got. No, technically not the first tweet. The first tweet was the
Crates, yeah.
yeah, where he rugged us. Great today. So we got our airdrops. That's exciting. I asked in the chat for the 7 gang. I put a little Titanic tweet where, we're going down with the ship. I was saluting the 7 badge members. I was like, it's been an honor going down with the ship. I will never leave 7 badge gang till I die. So we had this tweet. And then we had the first tweet. This Kaiju will definitely continue to follow my orders and help me protect this city. Thoughts? Do you guys think that's even true?
Like, the Kaiju is completely out of control. Like, Boss Toad can't do anything anymore to the Kaiju. So I think we all think that.
Yeah, as soon as I saw that, I took note of the writing in the background. And then also Boss Toadz has this like gangster cap over the top of his tooth right there. And I was like, oh, dang, that's shiny. Like, what's up? Hand that over, Boss Toadz, before you get the work put on you.
And he's going to get the work put on him because the next tweet, it's the exact same moment in time, but from a different angle. And I just want to shout out whoever made this art. This kaiju, it looks so menacing with the eyes and the face. Like, I don't know if you guys feel that, but I look at this and I'm like, that's a big bad kaiju.
It feels production quality, Jurassic Park, when the T-Rex is creeping over the shoulder. Again, like, smack. And all of a sudden, guess what? Oh, yeah. Whop, and you just get enveloped. You know, you turn and Boss Toadz is going to turn to notice. And then that kaiju's coming through.
Yeah. Maybe any thoughts on this?
I'm sending you some images on Discord because I got this alpha. I like that now we're becoming the collectors of alpha. So like people that they find alpha, they DM me with the alpha. Like, hey, look at this. So I just sent you. It's like a very important WoW community member and as well 10KTF, which is CR3MD.
So this is the first image. Okay.
That's the eye.
That's the eye of the kaiju. Okay. Now let me show you guys the other image. I'll be honest, even with the outline, I still don't know what I'm exactly looking at. So maybe please help me. And
They say that it's a coda.
What?
They say that it's a coda with the ears, and you see that?
Okay.
But I see the shape as well. For me, it's like it's pretty abstract. But then again, people had a everyday one time where we overlaid it with the burning of the shop.
Yes, I
Overlaid
remember.
the two images. Nikki's the one that dropped that into the shop. And so like this image overlay isn't an abstract idea for the way that we look at alpha and the way that the team might present alpha to us. I don't want to completely discredit the theory, but I mean, I see the horns, I see the hooks, I see the general shape, but I don't know.
Yeah, for me, you know, I like the enthusiasm. I like the interpretation.
Coda.
But for me, that's gotta be Cap. That's gotta be Cap for me.
Let's let's see what the community says.
VU Labs released their governance plan for Worm. We talked about this last week, so we're not going to get super in depth, but this is how you can link your wallets together. Just 3 easy steps and give you that peace of mind of having vault security, but still allow you to connect your hot wallet and verify ownership. So that's coming. It looks like it's coming next week. And to me, it looked like that they wanted to spend an extra week vetting some of the code and the governance plan before releasing Worm to the wild, given that it's going to be such an important piece of software. They want to make sure that there are no bugs that is going to mess up anybody's, you know, wallet holdings, because you're asking for quite a lot. You really only get to release a product like this once, and you want to make sure you get that done right, because like your reputation is on the line for this. And then we had this great video. This it's what pains me. I want to just cover up this with my mouse. I don't want to see that. Kent had a great comment where he's like, was anybody else hoping for 8 to get crossed out and then have 7 as well?
No, only you, atareh.
Hey. Kent said that 7 badge gang. It was an honor to be your captain. But our ship is the Titanic and it's going down.
NGMI.
It's just an 8 badge gang. So like for what it's worth, like I didn't get no heart badge this round. So I'm the 8 badge gang now.
Yeah. Look, well, at the very minimum, you can at least respect the dedication to 7 badge. Okay.
Yeah,
Fought for you guys. I rallied the troops.
that's
Figgy still calls me atareh with a lot of 7s in my name. It is GMs. DJ Figgy is out here. He's seeing what's going on, and he's like, I see you A7 R8 atareh. So that's some of what happened last week in 10KTF. General big picture thoughts and opinions. Diamond, let's start with you.
General big picture thoughts. Looks like Boss Wolf's about to get snatched off the fucking map. To me,
Boss Toadz, you mean?
oh, Boss Toadz. Yeah, the Boss Wolf.
Let's go.
You know, Boss Wolf's on the top of my mind. But it makes me feel now that Boss Wolf's sponsoring us, right? Like we're primed up for Boss Wolf to now that people been fucking groveling him and fucking thanking him and all this extra stuff for all this goodies he's giving out to the community. What if all this is just bait to get on our good side? Then he comes in and fucking starts reverse playing us, starts causing us some mischief in what we got going on as far as our smooth storyline, right? Like, and I say smooth with intention, right? Because I just think we're about to pull left right here. Yeah, Boss Toadz is getting snatched off the map by the Kaiju. Someone's got to take villainous place, right? Boss Toadz. I think Boss Wolf's going to step into that place. We bust out our flamethrowers, our fucking battle gear, and we start battling back that Kaiju. And maybe Boss Wolf's nipping in our fucking heels, and we got to turn it in with the flamethrower action sometimes. Keep him back and then focus back on the Kaiju. Or maybe we need the general to create us an actual battle strategy so we're as well prepared as we can be. You know, he does an incredible job with our troops. I'm really excited to see what he might have planned for us too. Either way, I'm attacking the shit out of anything moving in Tokyo that ain't GT6.
Let's go. Grill Team 6. Mebynetta. Thoughts, big picture for what's
Yes.
done.
Same. Boss Toadz is gonna get eaten probably.
Yeah.
So goodbye, Boss Toadz. It's been an honor to chat with you in the Discord. You were very nice for answering me, and yeah, no, I hate Boss Toadz, so he can die, no problem with me.
You heard it here, Boss Toadz. Your last week in New Tokyo, we weren't fans of you. Whatever. I'm curious, if Boss Toadz does get eaten by the Kaiju, do you guys think the team would be crazy enough to send the Boss Toadz Cryptoads NFT to a burn wallet? Think about it.
Don't send that to a burn wallet. Send it to fucking diamondhands.e. All right? That's where you send that. I'll burn that out. Consider it burnt, okay?
Yeah. I don't know.
But-
I mean, hiding it in your NFT on OpenSea doesn't consider it burned. I feel like you're just going to hide it.
Yeah, I'm telling you, but for all intents and purposes, hey, it will be as bird could be. All right. But no, I think that's a really unique, I think that would be a fun strategy to try to put into what's going on. It would definitely alter the storyline quite a bit. And I think it would be fun just to toss something in like that. We know that the team does have a propensity for burning. They burnt the first 45 bags that they purchased off the market back in October.
And I think it introduces an element because we've seen some other projects like WagD do like burnings of like mutants and some other NFTs in the past few weeks or months or so. And so I'm wondering, look, if the character is dead, then why is the NFT still there? I think people are going to lose it if they do that. That's what it would lead up to. To me, it makes complete sense as the natural.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I think at some point we're going to need some deflationary supply control over the top of this project, just considering that people can mint 7 items per all the NFTs that are available. We're at like 700,000, 800,000 mints right now, that if people were to mint everything. So just considering that, and the people aren't minting everything, obviously. You mint a full set, and that's about as much as you're going to go. But I think it's just something to continue to consider as they continue to onboard more projects in the future. That supply is only going to continue to grow. So having some deflationary aspect into what we're doing into the future does add an interesting facet as far as market forces and total supply control.
Yeah, it makes sense. So I have some thoughts on if Boss Toadz gets eaten, right? That means the Kaiju is completely out of control. And I think that we're going to see some of the other gang members realize that, hey, if we keep letting the Kaiju run amok, we're not going to have a city to actually control. And so we could even see some of the other gang members take notice if and when Boss Toadz gets eaten and be like, oh, wow, I kind of want to help you guys. And they might even join us and help us out because we're aligned in a greater enemy. I like to think of it like in Batman, in the second movie, The Dark Knight, one of my favorite movies of all time. Near the end of the movie, the mob that let the Joker loose on the city realized what a mistake it was and started helping Batman to try to get rid of the Joker because he was just a wild card that they were like, this is too much. Like what he's doing, we can't even condone and accept. And we're mobsters. We're the mafia. I could see a very similar thing happening here. And then once the Kaiju's defeated, they'll be like, okay, we're going to go back to being our gangs, but we worked together this one time to protect Utopia. if there's anything left.
I mean, in tracking the long-term storyline, thinking about whoever Boss Toadz, WAGMI's paying protection money to Boss Toadz. So Boss Toadz is protecting WAGMI from something. Well, that's why he's paying it, right? We know that WAGMI ain't paying shit no more, right? Like WAGMI already said, we ain't doing that no more. So with that factor in play now, knowing that 893 Genesis was also presented to us in the last month, 2 months, right? This alternative, the main boss, who's the main boss and all this. And while the Kaiju's wrecking town right now, I still don't feel like the Kaiju's the main final boss that we have to get to in this. I think it's a passing point for us. Seeing the dude that, came and caused havoc at Wagner's shop as a young man. And then it's Wagner's cat. Like, I think that dude is a fucking terrible dude. And that's the gang we're going to need to take down, that 893 Yakuza, right? Yakuza gang. And I think they'll end up stepping back in, and maybe they're the ones actually controlling the Kaiju at the end of the day, even though Boss Toadz thinks he's got a handle on it.
And I think it plays into the Degen Figgy character as well. I think he's a part of all of this, and he's connected to that. And maybe I wanted to get your thoughts on this. We're rounding up to the 1-year anniversary of 10KT. First of all, holy shit. 1-year anniversary. It's just over a month away.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
That's completely crazy. Yeah.
And I think that there's going to be a lot of big things tied around that 1-year anniversary. Probably the story. Maybe we get Max on the 1-year anniversary. But I want to hear your general thoughts about what you think is coming up in the next month as we lead up to the 1 year.
Okay, so there is a word that we continue to say, and we will continue to say until it happens, which is land. If New Tokyo, like the Kaiju, there's nothing left of New Tokyo. Do you really believe that we're gonna be going back to that New Tokyo that we saw in the past? It's gone. That New Tokyo, it's gone. Let's forget it. That's my thought, obviously, but I mean, in my opinion, that's going to be erased. Like the Kaiju is going to destroy like 80% of it.
Yeah.
The rest is going to be destroyed by the mech trying to kill the Kaiju. It's over. So what are we going to do? What are they going to do for their 1-year anniversary? I don't know. Maybe they're going to drop us the land that we're going to rebuild together. So
like that being said, I think it plays perfectly into the longer term thesis of like that everything's getting torn down in New Tokyo. What we were talking, at least what I was talking about heavily with people, the team at the party, right, was like, what better project could you have than a project that you can see yourself in? Advancing Meby Chan's nail bar, like I'm saying, I think this might be the origin points for them to say, hey, look, we're rolling this out. We know Otherside's going to have some co-creator status going on with that as other deeds are able to build on top of what they're doing. I think it might be a great time for maybe New Tokyo to hit 10KTF to hit us with that land, like you're saying, after the Kaiju wrecks it all. And now we get the opportunity to start building what we want to see ourselves as in New Tokyo, right? So me and E Shorts can start working on the old smoke shop lounge. You know what I'm saying? Start putting up the ramen. We're going to have a ramen bar, right? Tina's got to have that ramen bar for sure, right? And seeing the ways that different stories and different community members can start to fold themselves in to their actual land locations as we can present our identities as we want them to be in Web3, right? I think this is all just merging together in a really great spot.
And maybe I'm glad that the way that you set that up, the Kaiju is going to destroy 80% of it, and the mech is going to destroy the other, trying to stop the Kaiju. We've seen it in all the action movies.
yeah.
When you go watch Pacific Rim, the robot, the mech, the Jaeger in Pacific Rim does as much damage as the Kaiju to stop the Kaiju. So there's going to be a lot of collateral damage, and we can't be on a floating piece of rubble in the sky with everything torn down. How do you even get materials back up there to build? And so really think back to that casting call that we saw months ago, that maybe it was speculation, maybe it wasn't real, but it's starting to sound like it's kind of real.
Just saying that has been flagged as fake, but we don't know. Like, now we have doubts. Let's say like
Now we have
doubts.
Hey, so was that pitch deck that ended up getting leaked with the photo of the early submarine, right? That had nothing to do with Board Ape Yacht Club, right? And that's fucked up the way it came out. I don't want to like let go of that point either, right? Like you shouldn't be snitching on a team from the inside. But the way that came out, the way that it was obfuscated, right, for the general NFT public, which of course for all business purposes is the right thing to do.
I mean, we'll see. Let's just say there's some doubts in that, and it's kind of playing out in the same way that we saw on that casting call. I'm not going to link it because, to be honest, I don't even know where to find it at this point. But that was an interesting piece of speculation that was confirmed as fake. But yeah, it looks like we're all going to go to the other side with our Genesis piece of land, airdrops for Genesis. We're going to manifest it. You know, I tried with the 7 badge. It didn't work out, but I have a good feeling I'm becoming more and more bullish of that theory, the Genesis land airdrop. And I think more and more of the community members are becoming way more bullish on that too.
At this point, I'm all fucked up because I don't know like what theory's still in play and what's not. Like yesterday with the people PFP theory, I'm like,
Yeah.
I want this to be in play so bad. Like, don't take this from me. You know? But like this land theory, I think, you know, we've been working on it for a while. I think it makes sense. Other deeds, hopefully having that central location, like people are going to be coming to New Tokyo to come and craft their stuff. So just having land within that ecosystem built on top of that is going to be a boom for all of us. I mean, we're all going to make it, right? That's WAGMI. So really excited to see the way that comes out and what can transpire from it. I've got a question for both of you real quick though. Oh, can I? Yeah, a little something different, right? Let me change pace, right? Yesterday, it was either Modest or Braided. Shout out to both you legends. All the OG alpha that y'all bring to us is big time. But I think it was Modest pointed out, like, WAGMI, the team does nothing by accident, right? Nothing is by accident. So did y'all notice that in the warm and the rug announcement, that WAGMI used the word players in it, not citizens, not grailed. He said players. And I know it could apply to Battle.town. We've been quote unquote playing Battle.town, right? But seeing that Gucci render, right, with WAGMI running around in what looks like a pretty well-built location, it gets me tingling, right? Gets me tingling a little about how close the team could be to having game production ready. And I just want to see, I mean, my figure is, I think the 1 year release date, right? Like, I think that heading around this corner here, I'm feeling like, I mean, y'all know I used to pump the fucking opium back in the day, y'all. So I don't want to bring another Super Bowl theory to anyone right now. But what I do want to say is, let's be looking forward to this 1 year date. It feels like there might be some things cooking ready for the larger market at that time in conjunction with Otherside. So fingers crossed, we'll see what happens. No pressure to the team. We love Battle.town, but I'm feeling like we could be cooking, you know, real metaverse soon, y'all.
Yeah, it says players can open their crates August 18th. Is that a Battle.town reference or a Otherside reference? Yeah, it's a great point. I don't know. It is the
Maybe
first time they've
both.
said, maybe both. Yeah, it is the first time they've used that with respect to Battle.town and in the tweet. So it's a good point.
How long do y'all think? I mean, are we getting close? I guess that's the best question. Do you think we're getting close?
We need to wait for the second drop of the other side land, like
Yeah.
the second 100K lands, other deeds. After that, we're going to know more about all of this. And I don't remember when it's going to happen. If they release you know, we don't know, right? We have no idea.
There's still a lot of missions to be done for the other side. It's an 11-part story. We've only done the first trip, which is 1 part. And we know that the other side and then KTF, like that's going to be the metaverse. So I feel like whatever's going to happen is going to happen at that when it happens to the other side. But okay, you guys ready? So we know with Battle.town that we had 8 missions and 4 of them were snapshots. Right? And so for those 4 snapshots, those counted towards our ape allocation. That's a saga. Let's call that like the first Battle.town saga. 8 parts, 8 badges, 4 snapshots. Remember in the first trip in the other side, we had a snapshot or a screenshot taken with the other side. And Curtis was like, everybody gather around. We're going to take a snapshot. We're going to take a photo. And that was shared. And then we also know how deeply linked other side and 10KTF is because Welcome glasses were in the other side. So it's not unreasonable, or it becomes pretty obvious to me that in the same way Battle.town had that snapshot dynamic over 8 missions, in these 11 missions, we're going to have that same dynamic where there's going to be snapshots taken in these other side missions. And then at the end of the 11 parts, we're going to get some reward similar to how we got the reward in Battle.town. To me, it looks like the exact same play. Maybe you look confused. Talk
No,
to me.
I'm like similar or the exact same thing.
It's the exact same
The
thing.
exact
It's
same
the
reward.
exact same. Yeah, it's literally the exact same thing, which is why I wrote that thread about a month back on how there's actually way deeper connections with what's happening in We Knew and 10KTF and Yuga Labs, especially in this Otherside journey. I think that the teams are cross collaborating way more. Maybe what the partnership even looks like is 10KTF, because it's a smaller project than the other side, it's being used as a testing ground for things that work, mechanisms that work, and then Otherside adopts that because they're like, oh yeah, they did that and this is what they got. And so to me, it looks like the exact same thing, just different scales.
You're 100% right. Figgy has mentioned that what we're doing in 10KTF is translatable to what's going on in the other side as a test case.
He said that.
Correct. In the chat, talking about our staking and the way that our staking is working. When we're having an issue getting Wolf Game that was already staked, right? So when Wolf Game was already staked, there was an issue, contract issue that was going on then. And people were asking questions about what the mechanism work looks like and whether it can be used as a test case for future projects. I think you did allude to it being used as a test case for other projects, knowing that 10KTF is so closely related to the other side, knowing that Figgy's mech dropped in like October, or what was it, November, right? Like that mech came into the play early. So like once I saw other side post that, I mean, we knew a long time ago, right? Like if you know, we've been knowing, we knew, right? But that being said, it's like this larger puzzle hasn't quite been filled in yet. But like you're saying, speculatively, I think we have the pieces hovering over the board right now,
Interesting.
I like this theory because ape is never enough.
We need more ape. We need more land. We want 10KTF is going to take over. It's my theory that 10KTF is going to usher in the next bull run. First one was Bored Ape Yacht Club. Round 2, 10KTF. We're going to do it. We're going to make it happen.
I thought it was Wagner Son and Mrs. Stoner that are going to kick off.
I clipped that and I tweeted out. I hope that Stoner Cat saw that.
I love this.
Speaking of which, I saw a comment in the Discord today and somebody said that, the FUD approach, the FUD culture in 10KTF is funny, but honestly, I almost left the community when I joined early on because to me it was confusing and it was like, what's going on here? And they're like, it may not be the best approach going forward to keep doing that. I want to hear your immediate reactions to that because my immediate reaction to that was, no way, we're not getting rid of that. That's the initiation that you have to go through so that we know you're here. So you're actually here as like a true 10KT effort. That's our culture. And like, if that scares you and you run away from that, that's okay. Maybe you'll come back another date and say, let me give it a second shot. The project isn't supposed to be everything for anybody. This project is a very specific culture and it's open for everybody, but it's like there's certain things that you have to be okay with. And fudding our own project in the copy pasta, that is now deep in our culture. And so if you can handle it, if you can handle the fire, you're going to be able to cross the bridge. If not, and you have to step back, that's okay too. Those are my thoughts.
That was a message in Discord.
What I said
Like
earlier.
someone wrote a message. Okay, so you know what you do?
You copy
You
pasta.
take the message, you copy,
That's
and then
exactly.
you cook pasta with it.
That's exactly what we did. After I explained, I started copy pasta again.
I mean, I think, credit to that person for being willing to speak up. Like that can't be easy at those times either, right?
Yeah.
This disconnected social brain that we're in. I don't disagree. Yeah, sometimes you got to get through a little bit of the thin to get into the thick stuff, right? And what the level of knowledge that's needed. I mean, in Grail, like fucking hey, FUD all you want, I would say maybe in general, like the general FUDing, that's a line that's like, maybe we should think about how consciously we're fudding that down. Like people come into the Discord. Now, I think that there's something to be said for projects that can have fun. Like, not going to make it pandas. Like that's fucking hilarious, y'all. That you call your project not going to make it, hilarious, right up front. And whatever happens with the project from there, zero fucking expectation. They've already created 4 games, right? They got like Pong style games. They're doing a great job of not making it over there. Community numbers are building. I really look at identical to what's going on in some facets here at 10KTF, only they play the satirical part of it, right? And really ham that up. I think it's important for communities to be able to laugh, have fun, and it's an integral part. Like, I don't want to be in a community that can't have fun and can't say, yeah, no, this is a fucking rug. We're not gonna make it, you know? But I also understand new people's intrepidation about seeing that go on and like, oh my gosh, man, if that's how you feel about it, just ask a question. Say, is this really a rug? Or do your own research and understand this is a people project. And we knew with 20 people possible with another 20 people and working professionals that are taking us to the promised land, whether you're here, whether we're fudding, whether we're not fudding, whether we're copy it doesn't matter because the team's so excellent that we know we're going to make it. So welcome to the group and come here and have a seat, bud. You know?
And I think it's so important to like have a culture because I think a lot of projects fail to find that or it's loosely defined and it's not, core and solid. And so there's like a lack of identity, I think, with some NFT projects. So when you find an identity, you lean into that. And it starts at the top. Figgy really starts it and it's promoted, it's laughed at. Really quickly, I want to talk about the raids that we did, the 10 KTF raids that are becoming infamous now. That started way back in February with Gucci. Diamond, I know you joined in on some of those with Figgy, but I'm helping keep the tradition going. This week on Thursday, we went into Gucci Vault to do some copy pasta raids. And the Gucci Vault mods and us, we have an understanding now. They give us our time and space. We will copy pasta and then we leave their village in peace. Then we went on a new expedition. We went to World of Women. They were confused. The mods were confused, very confused. Block, shout out to Block. But he was confused initially, saw it unfold, and then he joined in on it. And that was a celebration. And then we went to Cool Cats. You know what? Maybe it was a sensitive week for them. Cool Cats mods came down swiftly with the ban hammer. And so this is my plea to Cool Cats. Please unban myself, atareh, and any other Grailed members from 10KTF. We're there in good jest. We bring good vibes, and copy pasta is a tradition on Thursdays. We want to spread the pasta. We want to spread the love. So Cool Cats, if you're watching this, the mods, let me out of jail. Let my Grail members out of jail. We bring good vibes only.
Hey, they're doing it a lot nicer than the first time we took our first road trip back in October to Cryptos. Okay. We went over there and caused some fucking hell. So
Yeah.
just know mods, hey, the new crew that's coming through with Copy Pasta is fun. They're having a good time. When we came through, we were really wrecking shop, had a great time doing it too. Man, shout out to all the legends who got down with me on that one.
And we have an exciting guest just about to join us right now. Kashvi is a community manager in World of Women. We're really excited to have her. We're going to talk about World of Women, possibly the 10KTF connection, and we want to talk about her journey as a content creator and how she rose up and became one of the community managers in World of Women and what she's excited for. I'm really looking forward to this conversation. So, Kashvi, welcome to the Dan Show. We're really excited to have you. For those of you who don't know, Kashvi is deeply involved WoW community. She is the community manager. I know you've been very involved with that project for a long time. So we're going to jump into all things WoW. We're going to jump to WoW and 10KTF. We're talking about a lot of different avenues and a lot of different things. We got a little speculation here. I know Diamond has the I Miss the Boat hat on, but usually it's a tinfoil hat on the damn show. And so it's going to be a fun conversation and we're excited to have you.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me and for all that you guys do, because I think there's such a gap in terms of having high quality Web3 content in this space. And you guys are doing a wonderful job filling it and just delivering news to people, as well as just having a fun conversation, which is so underrated. And we don't have high quality podcasts like that. So it's an honor to be a guest, really.
Happy to have you.
Mebynetta, did you want to set up some of the WoW stuff? Because I know there's a lot going on in the WoW universe with the capacitors. And
Many of the 10KTF members know I'm also very involved with WoW. It was like my first NFT project. I'm all for supporting women and empowering women, diversity, representation, all these things that really matter. And when I saw WoW for the first time, I was like, okay, I like this. I like the message. I like what's bringing to the space. So I was just immediately, into it. And yeah, then I met these amazing people like Kashvi, and there is I cannot do a list, but it all started August last year. Special shout out to Eat Sauna, because it's Eat Sauna that was like, I don't know, they were like so supporting on the first period that I was in the Discord. It was like, I don't know, my Discord buddy that was just telling me how to behave on Discord. Like, I really didn't know. I didn't know yet what WAGMI meant. I didn't even know what WAGMI meant when I entered Discord. I was like, what are these people saying? What is this GMI? What is this? So It's Sauna was like my tutor for all the first period. And yeah, it was amazing. I learned so many things in the WoW Discord. And it was like the first months when I was learning about NFTs, I got so much information, education. There is a very nice package for newcomers, like newcomers in the NFT space, that I keep sending to people. And it's in the WoW, in the wiki WoW, I believe, right?
Yeah, it's called the Educational Hub. And we're sort of working on taking that educational experience to the next level with the WoW University, which India is working on. And it's just going to be this entire onboarding experience for any newcomer. And it's one of the things that I'm so excited about, because, like, when you go through that entire course, you actually get like a diploma and stuff at the end of it. And it's going to be a legit curriculum about Web3, which we're so, so excited.
Diamond, I know that you have a lot of love for the WoW and the WoW community and what they're doing.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. Yeah, Kashvi, my love for WoW, like without like how I got into NFTs was I bought an NFT that looked like my mom. Right. And so that's where this all starts. I lost my mom a few years ago. And so like there's some trauma to work through and all that. I've been on this journey and make sure I'm on doing my work, doing that necessary work, but really help me tap into some of these, deeper emotional sides. Shout out Dr. Nadine Burke Harris, works with the adverse childhood experiences, the general surgeon of California. She's an amazing woman who like looks at childhood trauma and how that affects people's opportunity to be successful in the future. And like, it's a systemic issue. It's not just the individual child's problem. It's about understanding, helping these children build resilience, understanding that these things did happen, but building resiliency is how to be successful in the long term. Coming from a troubled background, troubled childhood, all that, like NFTs, the first NFT I bought was like, yeah, this isn't about like the money, right? This is about the art, is what they said, right? Like, come here for the art. I did a little bit of early research and it was like, buy something that you care about, because if it goes to zero at the end of the day, you're still going to care about it, And it was a punk, shout out OX Fubar with that. It looked just like my mom. And then I went a little deeper in the collection and found like one that looks freaking just like her. And so I was like, gotta have that one. That's my forever NFT for sure. And so like just these pieces of like, in my life, I had a woman, Pam, my former boss. I love you, Pam. I'll send this to her. I don't send it to a lot of my IRLs. But I love Pam so much. As I was a 14-year-old trying to find my way, she really helped show me the ropes and what it takes to become somebody who the community can see as successful. She brought me into the city of Anderson's Parks and Rec program and said, hey, I saw you play basketball. Come and referee these like second and third graders. And like what built from that point forward was 14 years as a program director for the city of Anderson, working in programs that help support children that come from troubled backgrounds. So we work with like foster youth and like, I don't know, and like seeing the way that women empower others, like remove the ego pieces, right? Like with my dudes and my bros, like it's all about, no, who's going to fucking win, man? We're going to fucking win today. And it's like, I get that. I'm a former college basketball player. I understand those pieces. But goddamn, like remove your ego and help somebody else out, give someone else an opportunity. And I absolutely love seeing what WoW's doing as far as providing opportunities for artists in third world countries in the WoW Fund, in what you do, uplifting other artists, right? Y'all really try to strategize and intersectionally, consciously lift people, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of projects in this space, and I'm starting to see it now that the bear market is like, we're in the deep of the bear. Everyone's running back to profit. And if it doesn't bring me profits, then I probably don't want any part of that right now. And that's cool, right? That's all good. I totally understand that. Go get your money, y'all. But I really love the projects that are built for something more. I think that the profits are the moment, but projects that are looking to build bridges are the ones that are going to be sustainable for the long term. They'll be the ones that aren't the 99% that end up at zero in the long term. So just, I want to say thank you for all the work you do and all the work that like the project has done to lift the voices that need lifting. And I hope to see more of that. 10KTF, we're trying to build bridges out here as a community, trying to get opportunities out for folks, and the team's trying to support us as we can. But I really look to what y'all do as the real barometer in this space for uplifting voices.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Diamond. It means so much to me that you would share your story here with me. And I just want to acknowledge all the amazing work that you're doing with your program, because I know a few people in my life as well, like on a personal level, who've been through some pretty violent stuff and pretty traumatic experiences growing up, and the impact that can have, because children are easily impressionable. And when the impressions inflict trauma, it's just no bueno, right? So I think you're doing an amazing job. And I just have so much respect for any sort of mental health professional or any good teacher who really shows kids the right path. It's so freaking important, because I know the impact that teachers have had in my life and how that can change so much. It can change like the entire trajectory of your life. So you're doing awesome work. And I'm so grateful to have a community member like you making all these amazing moves, because you guys are the ones who really represent what the brand is about. And that's exactly what you're doing. And I am so, so grateful. So, yeah, thank you, is all I can say.
Kashvi, I wanted to ask you, when did you get started with NFTs, and then how did you find your way to WoW? And talk us through some of your journey on becoming the community manager.
So, I started learning about NFTs in February 2021. I had just turned 19 and I was currently like working in the creator economy space. For those of you who don't know, I've basically been interning, making content, helping people build their personal brands since I was 16 years old. Like, I always had this bug in me to just go out there, work, see how the actual world is and what that's like to be in it, because I was not very academically oriented. I never have been. I can do it when I like really put my mind to it and just like get done with it. But beyond that, I've always had this thing that I want to do something that's fulfilling, something that satisfies the fire in the tummy, you know?
Yeah.
So this was the way of doing that. And but within 2021, every smart person that I knew started talking about Web3. They started talking about Ethereum and how it's the currency of the future. I was like, hold up, this sounds a bit like what is the basis for any of this? I didn't understand Ethereum at first. I didn't understand Bitcoin, Litecoin, any other altcoin that, people were sort of talking about. Dogecoin, that shit went like way above my head. But then I heard about Beeple's big sale, the 5,000 every days. And I was like, oh, hold up. Did an artist really get paid that much money? That's insane. Because I have worked with artists and I know that they don't get paid anything. Like, especially in India, where I'm from, they barely make a living. Like, what like a normal wage worker earns in a month is what an artist might earn in an entire year. So it really piqued my interest as someone working in like the content space, to understand what's happening and to understand how people can sort of monetize their content and actually make an earning out of it. So I dived deep into like, okay, what's an NFT? Did the Google search, all, and then you know how it goes. Like, there's a bunch of YouTube videos and stuff popping up. And on the side, I was also listening to the Gary V audio experience quite a lot, which is Gary Vaynerchuk's podcast. And I started hearing him talk about NFTs. So I was like, okay, pause. This shit's definitely going to be big, and it's happening because Gary has predicted the biggest sort of moves and like the biggest cultural shifts in society so far. So when he started saying it, I started like really listening and thinking about how I can contribute. And I have to credit like Gary's content as well, because it really simplified NFTs and it made it sensible to someone who works in the marketing space. It made it more digestible, because he explained how like a content creator can monetize it. Apart from just artists, there's space for other people to, participate in this whole cultural shift that is happening. And then I started hearing about VFriends, and I was super active in that community. I still am. I have a lot of love for them. I was the VFriends Discord launched. It wasn't even called VFriends at the time. I think it was called Gary V's NFT project or something. And I had like a 2-month heads up of learning over his community. So I started helping people there, explaining, okay, this is what Ethereum is. This is what an NFT is. This is what gas fees are. So all of that, like one-on-one teaching, and his team took a notice of that and made me a mod. So I've been like an OG Friends mod since the beginning. I'm still a part of the team. It is a volunteer role, of course, but it really helped me understand what my way of contributing in Web3 could look like and what I think I might be kind of good at. So there was a point where I was managing a bunch of Web2 clients, managing my dad's social media, interning at a newsletter called Filter Coffee, working at WeFriends, doing college, and being the head of PR at my college magazine. So I was doing like a bunch of stuff at the same time. But then July rolled around, and at this point, like it's July, but I've still never spent any money on an NFT because, hello, I'm a 19-year-old. I don't have that much money going around to just spend on digital assets. So, yeah, but when I heard about World of Women, there was so much heart in the project that I just had to like get one at least. And to participate in the culture, I was so drawn to the founders, to the fact that they were actually going to take some of the money and put it to charity. It sounds so common now, but at the time, no one else was really doing it. So I love that. And I love the charities that they selected. Like Diamond said earlier, like WoW has always been so thoughtful about what they contribute to. So yeah, I just loved it and I minted with the help of a friend. And I fell asleep, okay, because it was like 1:30 a.m. I was like, okay, I got a cool one. I'm sleeping, GN. And I woke up early for college and I opened the Discord to see Gary in there. I was like, yo, if Gary is getting one, I gotta get one as well. Because like this just solidifies my trust even more. So I had like 0 ETH left. I minted 2 in total. And that's how my journey started as a community member. I was also like, at the same time, I was also like hustling, participating in any contest that they were hosting in like, in the hopes of winning one. And I did. Is awesome. Which is why I also love that we've kept the contest culture consistent even now, but that's a whole other thing. So yeah, 2 months later, I asked the team if they wanted to do an Instagram live because their account wasn't super active back then, like the WoW account. And they agreed to it, which was super sweet of them. And I got to like interview them kind of like this on IG and ask them questions on behalf of the community. And I was very professional about it. Okay. I was like, okay, let me send you a calendar invite. These are the questions I'm thinking of asking. Let me know if it's okay. It was all very organized. And I think they were kind of impressed by that because they reached out to me a little bit after that, asking if I was taking on full time roles in Web3. And I was very hesitant at first because I was like, I love this team so much, but am I willing to give it up all, like everything else that I was doing, to go all in? And I realized that I was. Like, I did a call with Adelina, our director of communications, and I was like, wow, this is literally my calling. I feel like I was made for this role. So I joined the team as a community assistant, and that is the whole story.
I've heard so many good things about Gary onboarding people, teaching them about NFTs really early on. He's been such a positive voice. For content, I love how almost everybody has like a Gary V connection in NFTs. I know maybe you were at VCon, which is where you met a lot of people in the VFriends community and some of the 10KTF.
That's where I met Guy Oseary.
I remember that clip of you and Guy. It was so iconic. I think I flipped out like IRL when you showed me because it was so.
Oh my God. I was like, can I hug you?
It was adorable.
I was like, sure, okay.
So I was going to say like the height difference between the two of you. It's
And I mean, speaking of Guy Oseary, Kashvi, I'd love to learn more about what you're excited about with the world of women and some of the things you're working on, because Guy Oseary is obviously a huge player in this. And so I'd love to hear about some of his involvement, what you're most excited for coming in World of Women.
with Guy, I think he's amazing. I'm so inspired by the work he's done throughout his entire career. I we've all heard things about him, but when that article came out with Variety, and I actually like did a deep dive into what he did as a teenager and then like his involvement and how he grew with Madonna, I think it was phenomenal. And his role at World of Women is basically just connecting us with people or, giving us advice now and then when we need it. And he's also very like down to earth and humble, which I love. So yeah. When you ask me about what I'm most excited about World of Women, it has to be the future. Like I am so freaking pumped for where we're going. And it's interesting because the last month has been a lot about reflecting of what we've already done because, we completed a year. And I said this to a few of my friends that, hey, WoW is completing a year, we're doing a stream, etc., etc. They were like, what? I was only been around for a year. It feels like you've been working for them for like 5 years or something. And that's how like impactful the branding is. And that's how fast stuff flies by. But besides that, if I had to nail down the specifics of the future, I'm excited for what we're going to do in entertainment with Hello Sunshine because I just see so much like world building, especially after the lore contest that we did recently. We received 160 stories, and each one of them was just so well written, so well thought out. We have amazing writers in the community, and just helping them bring that vision to life is something I'm excited to see. And another thing, I guess, would be fashion. I think in many ways, since the beginning of WoW, we've known that fashion is going to be a big part of what we're doing. Things are moving in that direction. We did the collaboration with the Fabricant, which was awesome. I think there's so much in the works that will take this to the next level. And I think I'm pumped about that because I'm not like a huge fashion nerd myself, but I just I as even though I'm not a fashion nerd, I like what we're doing about fashion, which makes me believe that even those who aren't super into this industry will be into the concept that we're about to dive into. So, yeah.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. Just look at 10KTF and Gucci. What happened? How many people that don't give about Gucci, they never bought that stuff and anything. As soon as they saw the partnership, they're like pumped, supporting. I like this, I like that. It's just bringing more people into that kind of also high quality
Mhm.
fashion that didn't even care or wanted to care in the past. So I don't know. That's definitely true.
Right.
I minted my Fabricant and I'm happy about it. They look super cool. That company, they're incredible.
They're so high quality, which
Yeah.
is what I and so it was like 10 KTF, by the way, like with the way that drop was executed and the way you had the cloth with you. I don't know the exact name, but like the pink and gold cloth, it looks so fabulous when you just take a look. And the event, I've heard amazing things about the NFT NYC event and how fun it was. I've heard it from you, Meby, and I love what they're doing.
David, I know you've mentioned in the past that you weren't super big into Gucci, but since 10KTF, it's got you a little bit interested in maybe doing a Gucci fashion walk sometime.
Yes.
Hey, well, no, that's exactly it. What Netta said. Like, I'm one of those like low brow, y'all. I seriously, so I'm wearing my Rugrats shirt today. It's not that I don't have some nice clothes, right? But like, I shop secondhand for real. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, this piece of like, when I get on camera, I try to look nice. But like, that being said, this piece of like Gucci to me, y'all, like, up so slow, like with this mullet, like that ain't traditional Gucci. That being said, it's building bridges, right? These alternative bridges where normally I wouldn't care about luxury fashion one iota, right? But now because it's bridged with 10KTS, I definitely have a serious interest. And shout out to Robo too, who I can't retweet your tweets, Robo, right now because you went private on that superstar. All right. But Robo went out and purchased some Puma, was out in the mall yesterday, walked with his kids and bought some Puma up. And he's like, well, I felt great about this, knowing that they're working with 10KTF. Like, hell yeah, I'm for Puma now. Where I don't know if I'm going that far still, right? But like, I love Puma. I love everything Puma's doing. Love seeing like the electricity that's building in that brand right now. But like, I'm a Nike, I'm a Kobe guy. You know what I'm saying? And, like, I'm still looking at the LaMelos. I'm keeping an eye on those LaMelos. I hear that they're like Kobe-esque in the low top feel. Like, for what it's worth, Puma, I hear you're doing really great things. I'm excited to get my first piece as well. I've got my shirt, send that out, and I've got to print a new one because y'all hooked me up with those extra decals. Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
For the record, I think that Rograph shirt is amazing, and I'm a fan.
Same.
I want one, to be honest, because that is a classic
Yeah.
2000s vibe right there. Grew up with that stuff, so I'm here for it.
I was just tripped out. Like, the co-creator of Rugrats ended up like following me a few months ago. Like, these people that like shouldn't be following me are following me. I don't know why, but yeah.
I know why.
I relate to that, to be
You
honest.
superstar, Diamond.
Like the innovation labs, like people from like spots like they shouldn't like. I don't like y'all. This whole experience in Web3 is a bit displacing or real. You know, I guess that's the best I could say.
Get used to it. This is no you're a superstar now.
It makes me nervous. I'm not even gonna lie. Like it makes me like at the NFT NYC event, people like, oh, it's so nice to meet. And I'm like, yo, I came to meet you. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
Like Figgy telling people, hey, people, you have to meet this guy.
And people's like, oh, this fucking guy. You know? People, fuck legend. I just showed up to try to get a moment. Like, what's up, man? What the fuck is going on? And then like people's like bowing his head, and I'm just trying to like bow lower to keep that respect level there. You know, like my wife was like,
Yeah. Can we just talk about people's like IRL energy? It is so awesome. Like every room that he walks into, it's always a party. And he has this very specific vibe that he just brings into like any room that he is in. And it's insane. I love it.
As
So positive. Yeah.
And
Right.
maybe when we walked into New Tokyo at the NFT NYC event, he was at the gates of New Tokyo welcoming people in, and we were welcomed by people, which is like, wow, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah. I actually heard this from your first episode at the
Oh
time.
yeah, that was our Brooklyn summary. And I mean, speaking of like content, I know Kashvi that you said that you've been doing content for a very long time. I can see the Gary V inspiration as well in terms of making content and building like a online branding presence.
So I think content has always been important for me because I've always seen it as a gateway to finding a community.
Mm.
As a kid, I started making content on my own about books that I read because I was always a nerd. And none of my friends in person really like that kind of stuff. So I started this thing called a Bookstagram where you take like cute aesthetic photos of books, you post them online with your reviews, and you connect with other readers who have also read that book. And that's how you like start this small community. And Bookstagram is kind of close knit. So it's like everyone kind of knows each other. The big accounts put an effort to interact with the smaller ones. So that was one of my first exposures to community, like just a bunch of nerds talking about stuff that they read in a book. And I realized that was amazing. Like that was that was a place where I felt like I really belonged. And I'm still friends with so many of them, even though I don't read as much as I used to because Web3 can be so consuming. But that's essentially how I started out. And I was like, wait, if I can do this for myself, I'd like to help other people do the same. And I also would like to learn from other people so that I can get better at what I do. So it was like a give and take sort of thing, which is why I started doing social media internships with artist collectives. There was this one that I worked with. It was the very first one called Commune, which essentially means community in German. And it's an India based artist collective that gives a platform to spoken word poets, slam poets, indie musicians. And it helped me realize that content has the power to elevate artists and to really capture their essence and ship it to the rest of the world. But it's just that you have to present it in a way that other people care. So you have to like contextualize that content to your audience, which is your potential community. Like every community member was in your audience before, and then like you've converted them through that, So you know that they're a community member when they come back for your next event and the one after that, and they bring their friends with them. So that was my like That was what really like got me into content. And then of course, like I think when COVID happened, I started like looking into podcasts and like consuming them. And that's when I heard about Gary. And I was like, yo, this guy is saying the same stuff that I've been preaching for so long. And the reason why I was so impressed by his content is that I felt seen. Like I felt like, okay, he's giving words to the stuff that I've been talking about for a while now. And I feel a little less crazy, if that makes sense. And I also learned to get so much better with the kind of advice that he gives. And more than Gary himself, the kind of advice that his team gives through like their own page. They have a page called Team Gary V. So they just do incredible stuff and they really bring you behind the scenes of how they make content, how they break one piece of content into like multiple pieces and contextualize it to different platforms. And that's what I learned to like expand and all that good stuff. And wow, this is making me miss like my Web 2 gig, but it was fun. But it's also like a pain in the ass, to be honest, because you're in front of like the screen all day and you're rewatching that same clip, trying to find what the viral moment is in that. If it's reviewing copy, you're writing it, trying to find out what the right headline is. And then when you make a typo, you're so mad at yourself. So there's this whole like, it's its own journey, content.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And a lot of what you're saying right now resonates with the damn show because,
Yeah.
we're clipping it, we're putting it out on Twitter. I'll see it every now and then I'll find a mistake in the captions and I'm like, gonna catch that for next time. Just small things that it's being fine tuned, like the damn machine, if you want to call it that. So a lot of what you're saying, I'm like, yep, totally know that, totally feel that.
I love that. The damn machine.
One of the first clips that I made for the damn show was about Meby talking about when you had the space with Kashvi for World of Women and how you were so curious about what it is about 10KTF that gets people to show up every week. And I wanted to just ask you that question, Kashvi. Now, there's been some time in between that Twitter space when you first asked that question to now. And so I'd love to hear your take on what you think is the magic behind 10KTF and why people keep showing up.
I think the magic behind 10KTF, what keeps people coming back, is it collaborates communities together.
Hmm.
Like whether it's like Gutter Cat Gang or the Mutant Apes or WoW or anyone who's under that ecosystem, it's a place where people from these different communities come in to get to know each other. It's almost like we're all going to a university, okay? And we all have our subgroups in this university. And 10KTF is that one, like, I don't want to call it like a fraternity or like a sorority, but it's that one place where everyone comes in to hang out, to just go into the full degen mode and really connect with each other. And they get to do this over high quality storytelling, which is where the best relationships are formed. You know, that I think is like the essence behind the 10KTF brand. And they're doing such an amazing job with it. And it's to someone on the outside, it can seem like a lot at first. But the fact that there's people like you guys, especially Meby, who has that whole newcomer package and she hits you with that alpha, that makes it so much nicer. It makes it welcoming because like frat houses or sororities aren't that welcoming, right? Like there's no one at the door to greet you and show you around, but there is. And it's not like mean college kids. It's actually people who really want to network and get to know each other while having a really fun time. So that I think is the magic of
Yeah.
KT.
It's funny you use that analogy because I was in IRL event just a couple of days ago and I said the exact same thing where I hesitated to use a sorority frat house, but that's the vibe I was going for. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
but
all these houses and like you have the quad in the middle where everybody from their own houses or discords goes to that common area where we all can connect. And early
yes.
on, early on in the 10KTF community, I remember feeling and typing exactly that. I'm like, oh, it's just so cool. It's taking the most inquisitive people, the one that want to go down rabbit holes from all the big communities and giving them one place to congregate. And so it's like,
Yes.
and then that over time, maybe is very big in the WoW community. I was in the ape community, and there's so many other examples. Carl's in the gutter cat community. They all kind of bridge together. And then you have like really inquisitive researchers like Diamond, this is my bread and butter. I'm here to research. I know exactly how to find the connections. And Diamond's been one of the OGs that has gone so deep into the lore and then been able to predict and serve the community with some of his predictions. So I feel like that college analogy is one of the best ones to describe 10K.
I definitely don't endorse like frat houses or sororities, but it's just like an analogy to explain
Yeah.
what I think the concept is. It's way more sophisticated than that for sure, but it's also just, it has that nostalgia kind of effect around it. I don't know how to explain it, but like some of the art that you see in it, it reminds me of like Studio Ghibli, that stuff that I saw growing up. Have you guys watched this movie called Spirited Away? It's one of my favorite like movies of all time. And there are visuals from it that I like Spirited Away, and I forgot the creator's name.
Miyazaki?
Yeah, Hayao Miyazaki. Like
Yeah.
it just reminded me of him and his really cool work. And so that's why I feel like they've really, I don't know if this was their intent or not, but they have that nostalgia element locked down, because who didn't love cartoons growing up? And this isn't like animated cartoons either. This is like anime related, or I think Studio Ghibli is kind of like the right genre, but like a little more intense than Studio Ghibli. Kind of like Kiki's Delivery Service, Spirited Away, My Neighbor Totoro, that kind of stuff.
Part of what's so interesting about 10KTF is that the art direction, you can't nail one specific thing because they've done the comic book style, they've done 3D Hollywood level action, they've done the latest video with the level 2 tools. It's very much Westworld intro theme with the piano and the gorgeous 3D slow motion. They're LA based. And so you can see the influence of pop culture and
Yes.
all of their art direction. And so they're able to tie in, like you said, to the Ghiblis, to the like comic book scene. They're so multifaceted, and I love that. It's you can't look at one thing and say, "Oh, that's 10KTF." Same way that they've brought a bunch of different communities together. They also their art direction also carries that same ethos of like, we're just gonna take the best of the best and put it into one project. And it's such a cool connection vibe that they're creating, which is why so many people early on were like, this is different. Something is happening here. I don't know why, but I want to stick around. I know for the three of us, Damien and Meby, we were like day one, we stuck around over time as through the ups and the downs, because we're like, something is happening here. And I don't know if, we're going to move it or not in the NFT terms, but I know that what we're building and creating here is so much deeper than just these. And
Love that.
yeah, which ties into the community aspect. Diamond.
Yeah. I mean, at least for me, like, I think the most cohesive part of 10KTF for me is it seems to be a lot of people that are all trying to make it in NFTs still. It's not, no offense to anyone else, the superstars, we got some incredible fucking people. Gremplin, shout out Grempo. Grempo comes and kicks in our fucking chat like a fucking regular plebe. You know what I'm saying? Like an NFT plebe, Grempo just comes and fucking hangs out. What are y'all up to today? I'm fucking making cool art.
I'm 50. His username is 50-year-old cat with Keenan Thompson, very zoomed in. It's so funny.
And
Wait,
so-
Ramsey's a crypto node?
Yeah.
And from Nouns and Crypto.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, that's so sick. I love that.
And we've got, RFDZ, we've got some incredible, like, real community leaders from some of our parent projects, but we don't have full crews of leaders, so to speak. And they catch on. We're starting to see some flow come in from the apes. Now the ape coin got ingratiated, right? But it's like, it really seems to me like, for me, the reason why I came in researching so fucking hard, like literally thousands of hours I put into 10KTF in the last 10 months. No joke, working 20 hours to try to produce daily, staying up till 4 o'clock in the morning. Commitment to the community, like making sure that I show up for them in hopes that I can figure out a way to make it too. I didn't have any parent PFPs when I started this, right? So how was I going to make it? I picked up someone else's bag. I came in doing my work, right? Trying to find my contribution to the larger community. And then when the contribution started to get so heavy, when people started asking me, could you fire up a space for us right now, Diamonds, on call? Like, it just got a little too much. And then I had amazing community members like Netta chipped right up and said, hey, I can help out. Alfalfa said, I used to host a podcast. I was like, fucking it, I got New Tokyo news for you, bud. Like, cause I realized that I took on such a workload trying to figure out how to make it in NFTs, right? Like, as you were saying earlier, Kashvi, like we will fucking chase the world down to make it, right? But like at the end of the day, opportunities to really make it are few and far between out here is what you start to realize over time, right? Unfortunately. And there's some people out there, shout out to all of you doing incredible fucking work on projects that just haven't had their moment yet. Cause I know there's a fuck ton of you out there, right? And like, I want to start fighting for those people, to be honest, because there's so many people putting so much work, so much of their time, and we need to find a way to make sure they get the acknowledgement that they deserve. You know, we could talk about the compensation piece. That's not really the huge part of it, but that acknowledgement is bigger than anything there, right? And I think that's something where us at the top levels, as we start climbing our ladder of quote unquote making it, always look back down and say, fucking hey, let me help you out. Let me lift you up one time too. Because
Please.
what
Yes.
Brady's doing at Grills right now with the Grills project he's working on right now, it takes him away from 10KTF. Not that he wouldn't be a full-time contributor otherwise, right? We all have to find our niche and what that looks like. But these top tier projects, shout out to World Women, always building bridges and lifting up, right? But I think that's part of the piece of 10KTF is it gives people a belief that you can make it too, right? And now that we're into the 5th stage, people have questions like, I don't have crates. I don't know if I can make it. What's Genesis? I'm on a PFP. Is this the right project for me? And like what I've said since the beginning is whether you have one item or whether you have 100 items, 10KTF is where we're all going to make it because we can't all make it unless we make it together. And we've had incredible community members who have given, you know, the time, given their energy and giving community members opportunities themselves. And that's how we're sustainable. That's how we're going to keep building into the future. And I can't wait till we see these. I know I'm not supposed to talk about it, but the possibility of the new Tokyo Electric Company powering up these capacitors and building a bridge, right? There's some things going on here in the long term that I'm really excited to get into in the future. And we're just going to keep building bridges and keep lifting up those ones who've been doing that work. So,
Yeah.
Kat,
I feel,
with any comment on capacitors?
I mean, capacitors are cool. They help you, like, they're going to be an important part of our decision flow at World of Women and ways of redeeming things that we put out there. But can I just acknowledge what Diamond said? Everything he said was just, it was amazing because I think I'm so aligned with the fact that you're all about elevating people and thinking about those who are at step one or like chapter one of their journey. And I just think it's so important for all of us who are ahead to really look back and help that one odd person who's asking you for something, or, just give them the resources that you wish someone would have given you when you were starting out. It's so freaking important because that's how we bring more quality people into this space instead of your classic allow list flippers, which there's nothing wrong with that. But it's just at the end of the day, it's about a community that's going to help each other out. And at 10 KTF score, at World of Women score, at FIFA score, that's what it's all about. Like the community helps lift each other up. And we need to keep doing that and we need to do more of that. So that was an amazing reminder from you.
A consciousness and an empathy in this space.
Yeah.
As we all continue to elevate, look back and help somebody out when you get the chance. You don't have to give a full meal off their plate, right? But you can give someone the keys without even offering them $1, right? And I think that our egos sometimes are like, oh, ooh, I got to keep on building myself up without looking back. And it's okay to be a little emotional and say, you know what? I'm going to have a big caring heart today. It makes you feel better at the end of the day. I mean, that's how we're all going to make it, but hey, kudos to all the traders that are out there making buku bucks too. Right.
Yeah.
And I wanted to jump in to Kashvi and Diamond, what you guys both said. I think what's interesting is that in Web2 and product and engineering teams, in any, startup company or big tech company, there's the concept of like a 10x engineer, which is an engineer that's able to do 10 times more than any other engineer in terms of just like their insight into a problem, their ability to execute, etc. And I think we really need to start thinking about 10x community members. I don't think anybody knows why or what it is, but it's like, Kashvi, I describe you as like a 10x community member because of all the things that you're able to do, help on more people, it's obvious that you were recognized for that early on with in the defense community as well, where they saw that willingness to go. And so it's like, how do projects attract more 10x community members? Because those are the ones that are able to take the support and energy from a community and be able to build on top of that and to start giving back and start creating things that help educate, entertain, onboard, etc. Then it's something I've been thinking about lately as like what makes a community community.
I'll answer your thing about how to attract like more 10x community members first, because I think that's important. And it's something that I think about all the time. I don't think that there's like a formula to it, but there's definitely two things that have to be in the mix. Number one is the mission. Like your mission should attract this person to like, really be there. Like, why are they sticking around? What is it that you're doing that on like a daily basis? Or what is it that you wish to do on a daily basis that makes them want to hang on to you? And then of course, added to that, like how badly you actually want to do it. Not just like, because a lot of people say they want to make an impact, but it's kind of superficial. There's the community member doesn't feel empowered enough to do it because you aren't giving them the tools. So that brings me to my second point. Like, give your community members the tools that they need to sort of help you with your mission, because that's the beauty of Web3. You're not just sitting in the audience, you're in the community, and that means you build with us. And like from a legal standpoint or even from an operational standpoint, it can be a bit of a nightmare. So the least that projects can do is like have an open suggestions and feedback channel, keep an open loop of communication with your members, really listen to them and what they're about. Maybe it's just like doing Zoom calls with them regularly or having surveys going out every now and then, just helping them feel empowered. So, yeah, A, have a really cool mission and be legit about it. B, give your community members the tools to be that 10x community member. Like, just hear their needs, see if it's feasible for you to deliver those needs. And if it's not, which is often the case, be transparent with them about it, because they just want your honesty and they want to know that they're a part of something. So, yeah, I think those are the two things. Is there anything else that you have in mind?
I think one thing that I've really been thinking about a lot is stability. And so I think a project, there needs to be whether it's implicit, and I think it only can be implicit, there needs to be some sense of like security that this project is going to be around 6 months, a year from now. Like the founders aren't going to lose motivation or, it's going to happen where it's like the updates stop coming. Because I think even for something like the Dan show, right? It's a lot of what we talk about is 10KTF. And because we know how committed the founders are and the team are to this project, we know that it's a stable platform to build something on top of. I think when you look at something like Jenkins in the ape ecosystem, that's something that was shared early on, was that the founders of Bored Ape Club said they want to build a sandbox and allow people to build their own sand castles on that sandbox. And Jenkins is an example of like a project that is able to build on top of Bored Ape, because Bored Ape is stable. It's going to be around. We know that it's going to be around for quite a while. And so there really isn't that risk of you wake up one morning and like you're getting rugged and like, and you're like, damn, okay, I built all this for
Damn.
yeah, damn. So that's something that I think about.
I'd actually love to know Meby's thoughts on this. Like, how can World of Women help you feel more empowered to continue being the 10x community member? Because you already really are. Like, you're out repping that WoW PFP, and we all love it. Like, the team loves it. But yeah, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this as well.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So let's say that WoW has been doing some pretty cool shit, like related to empowering community members, especially in real life side of the things. I think it's the only project that actually gives money to community members to organize local meetups. So that's incredible. And I think that many community members don't even know yet about it. And it's a shame. It's like, I don't know why. It's like you tweeted it, you put announcements about it, and still, when I talk about this thing, many people say, "What, really?"
Yeah.
Do they actually pay for these meetups? Yeah. Yes. They like announced it in any way. So since I love in real life events and I really like, you see, I flew to London just to participate in a 10K
Love that.
unofficial launch. Like,
Yeah.
so, that I think it's incredible. And I encourage other community members as well to take advantage of this WoW meetups and organize meetups in their cities. Also, the fact that you did the live streaming, including some community members, I think that was a very good thing. The difference, like the thing that I don't see in WoW yet that we have in 10KTF, it's like a weekly program of things happening in the community by the community. I understand that the team, like, it's difficult because, of course, the team cannot push community members to do it. It's the community that has to do it. But there are some ways that the team can actually incentivize people to organize these things. I don't know, like if you saw it, that we get some kind of cute shout outs from the 10KTF team. Like, those videos are so incredible that they're like a piece of art. So I feel like my name is in a piece of art because that's art, 100%. So I think that having like a weekly program made by the community will definitely not only empower the people that create the content, but give more ideas to the other members as well. Because that's what happened with NKTF. Diamond started all this madness because it was him. And then after he started with these spaces, with writing all this stuff, this amazing daily recaps, so many other community members took the like inspiration and they were like empowered by what he did. And they were like, okay, but maybe I can do this. Maybe I can do that. So recently we were talking in the WoW Discord about doing the weekly community space that was going on for a while and then it stopped. At the beginning, we had an incredible community space led by Yari. That was like, I remember the week of what was that? It was the Christie's. Oh my God, the community space.
Yeah.
That community space was one of the best spaces I have been into, and I've been in many spaces now. We do a lot of 10KTF spaces. That community space during the WoW Christie's auction, like everybody was fired up. Like,
It was amazing.
yeah, and I think that we need more things like that in WoW. And a weekly community space, it's important. Even if not, you don't have, like, let's say someone cannot meet weekly, you can change hosts. Just keep that weekly thing happening, even if you cannot have the same host the whole time. It's important. It keeps that's also stability from like going back to what atareh said. That's already gives stability to the community from the community itself.
That's even better than the team kind of putting it out there. And honestly, consistency in that form can do so many wonders in terms of when you look back. Like right now, we're looking back at the Christie spaces and being like, yeah, that was amazing. For the
Yeah.
team, we do our weekly Monday time as well spaces. And when we scroll through like scripts or prompts from the older ones, it's something pretty cool and historical to look back at. So I would love if our community could come together, do your own newsletter, do your own like weekly spaces, whatever it is. And if you need us to, shout you out, we're always happy to do it. Like the WoW account always retweets any community related initiatives that are happening. And we're happy to put it in the WoW board channel of the Discord as well. So if you're a WoW holder and you want to be more active and you're listening to this, reach out to me or Meby and we'll see what we can do. I'm going to clip everything that Meby said and put it in our Discord and ping a bunch of people and be like, yo, listen to Meby.
Oh my God.
It's got to be organic too. It's got to come like from the community. So like it can't have, so like for me, like the only reason why I got on and started doing those spaces, because I talk about whatever the fuck I want, have my bong right next to me, fucking take, and I don't do that anymore because it's grown from our early days, right? But it really started as like this degen thing where I do come from a professional research background. I can slow down my cadence and present the information as needed when needed so people can digest the information and not just my energy and words. So I've had to learn a couple different ways to dictate and the way that I enunciate to try to be more clear and more appropriate in different rooms. But like in this shit, I just get to do whatever the fuck I want. It's like there's something for that, right? You said where like you can show up and know that I know the team's fucking watching my new Tokyo news from back in the day. That's how they got pumped it up. It'd be a loss on their end to not keep an eye on what I'm doing. And so taking pride in that and knowing that, hey, like I got these 10 community members showing up and I'm going to degen this out and maybe they'll show up next week. Maybe they won't, maybe, maybe not.
I love Meby. I'm a Meby maxi.
Oh my God.
She's blushing. Oh,
I
cute.
can't, guys. I love you.
We love you too.
I wanted to close to give you an opportunity to ask some questions because we've been asking a lot of the questions.
Yeah. So I want to know a little bit more about your journeys here. So atareh, I hope I'm saying that right.
Oh, yeah, you got it.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about DGen University, because I remember I followed you on Twitter after Meby retweeted one of your threads. And I
Right.
was like, this is good quality writing. It's not just another like Twitter thread that's like copy pasted from a blog. So tell me what's going on with that, how you came up with the whole concept of it.
So for me, it was last summer where I went full time into Web3. I'd obviously been involved for a few years before that, but last summer I made the decision that like I have a passion for writing, and no matter what my job was, I would always find myself doing writing roles somewhere or another with that, like kind of unconsciously just winding up writing like for the blog, writing like an ebook, whatever it was. And last summer is when I made the decision to go full time, end of last summer. So it's running up to about a year now. August 26th is when I like was full time day one. And for me, I'm like, I'm going to write, like I'm going to write on Twitter, and I don't know what yet, but that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to build a following, and that's going to be my bread and butter. And really it was just jumping into NFT communities. And as I got a feel for certain things, I would see a story playing out that I'm like, oh, I need to write about this. And that would be like the inspiration. And so I would continue to keep writing Twitter threads about different projects that I'm in, some of the things that I notice. And DGen University, really, the name was also coined in 10KTF, but it was early on in 10KTF where we had to do some investigation on the blockchain. I would go into Etherscan and find out what the team is working on, whether we're getting an airdrop, what the new smart contract is all about. And I realized that the community really had a need for understanding how to use Etherscan. And so I have a live stream Zoom class for the 10KTF community called Etherscan University, where I walked through some of my knowledge so that there wasn't necessarily a dependency on atareh to go into the blockchain and find out what's happening. It's that let me democratize this information and this knowledge so that other community members can also find that clue and like share with the community, get that rush of excitement. And really, it's,
Yeah.
and it really started from there. And like before Web2, I'm a molecular scientist. So I was a researcher. I was going to get a PhD and I was going to be a professor. That was my original career path because I love the teaching aspect of it. And what I learned that is as a professor, especially in the sciences, you'll eventually end up hating teaching, even though you might like it, because the incentives are for you to sit down in your office and write grants, not do teaching. And so that's when the switch happened to like technology and Web2. But that's always been a part of me. I've had a startup in the past that's all about education. And DGen University was my way to, I think, give back to the community and, have free knowledge on YouTube where it's like you can just learn about things on the blockchain and Web3. And like I'm coming with a lot more security focused things because I realize that's such a huge need in the space. And so I'm working on a security course right now that I'm going to be releasing for anybody that wants to learn about some of the big hacks that have happened in the space and how to protect yourself from it. And some of these pieces that I think are going to be really foundational for people as they get onboarded.
That's so awesome. And I like that it's rooted in writing because I love writers. Like even like the lower writing contest that we had recently, it's so much fun to just hear about where a writer comes from, their journey, their inspiration. And it's very clear to identify like a real writer from like kind of like a phony writer. And I got those real vibes when I read your early threads. So great stuff. Keep it going. And I'm excited to see what your vision is for the DGen University.
Isn't it crazy that in that first Etherscan University, like us of the Dem show, we were all there,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, that's awesome.
Forget people was on the stream that day too.
There was people. It was somebody that changed their name to people.
Probably people.
Yeah,
Probably people.
probably people. I know Tails was on it. The recording is still there on YouTube, so I'm gonna go back and take a look. But yeah,
I was there. Yeah.
yeah, Tino was there. But Diamond, you were there as well. You doxed yourself there, which was awesome.
And what's the wolf behind your
Wolf.
Thanks for asking, Kashvi, because like I don't know if we're giving a giveaway this time or not this week, but Boss Wolf right here was Lambo's on the moon as well.
But what? I'm so confused. But
Sponsored by Boss Wolf.
Oh, that's all you're getting from me today.
You know, we embrace the confusion here at 10KTF. If you don't know, Kashvi, we've been doing a giveaway each week for the past few weeks, and Boss Wolf has graciously sponsored. All we need to do is grovel before Boss Wolf, and we have to play his anthem.
okay.
So, look, that's enough for Boss Wolf. He likes to go on and on with those. We like to say that this is Boss Wolfmas, right? 4 weeks of Boss Wolfmas. So we are giving away another Genesis item this week on the damn show. This week, it's going to be very exciting, a mutant backpack. So look out for that. It's a mutant Genesis backpack. There's going to be a tweet afterwards. We're going to send it out. Diamond is still hiding behind the wolf because he's not a fan of groveling. Kashvi's still a little bit confused. She has no idea what's going on, and that's okay. We're here for it.
I'm embracing it.
You embrace it. This is what we do at TechKTS. And maybe you look relaxed as ever. You're getting used to Boss Wolf, it feels like.
Yeah, I'm getting used to Boss Wolf. It's like it doesn't bother me so much anymore. But yeah.
He's starting to become part of us. Small part of me is kind of gonna miss Boss Wolf when all this is done, because I think next week is the very last one, and we're gonna try to give a big tribute to Boss Wolf next week to really thank him for all of his Genesis items that he gave us. Let's get back to the show.
I just met Boss Wolf and I miss him already.
He's gonna love that. Wow, he's all about that. He's gonna be like, Cash, we can Discord.
Yeah.
Party in Brooklyn, and I stole it off the wall at the end of the night and took it home. I was like, Diggy, hey, y'all didn't have any drink coasters, so I'm fucking taking this home. It's nothing of real value, I swear. All right. It's like I told him I was stealing it when I stole it. You know, I don't know how stolen that is, but I didn't want to leave there with an ethical hole in my heart either. Like, oh, Diggy, I bet they're gonna steal their stuff. You know, I wanted them to know Diamonds did. So
That with it.
For the culture. Love it.
Maybe have you been involved in content previous to this?
No, absolutely. And I never wanted to. This really just happened and it felt so natural. It felt so nice. I was having a good time and I was like, I'm just going to jump into it, because when something feels good, when your guts tells you that to do something, that's what I am. When I have
I
a
love
feeling,
that.
I just go for it. So I went for it because I felt it. So
I'm like constantly amazed by Meby every day. I remember the day like you ordered the microphone and you put out this whole tweet about how you never thought you'd be doing something like that. And look at where you are now, so many episodes in. It's awesome stuff, man. You guys are killing it.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on and sharing your journey. I think you, whether you know it or not, you're definitely an example to a lot of people on being ambitious and going for things. And I hope that this episode really shed some more light into your stories so that people know that, hey, like Kashvi was just a community member that through effort was elevated to these positions, and that other people can do it too. And you may be shy about this, but I want to give you the opportunity to plug your Twitter. Where can people find you, Kashvi?
You can just like, this is my Twitter. You can find me here if you want to. But yeah, no, I think what Diamond was saying about imposter syndrome is so real in this space, especially because things move so fast. You're just like yo, hold up, where did all that time go? Am I really here? Do I deserve to be here? That sort of a thing. It's just such a common narrative that Diamond has, I have, and a bunch of other people whom I know in the space. Because there's so many who've made like quick flips and now they're satisfied with what they're at. And they just find it so hard to believe that this is life now and whether someone else deserves that more than them. And it's just like a recurring monologue that many of us have. So if any of you feel that way, you're not alone.
I have some thoughts about that. Maybe we'll do it at an IRL event at a dinner. Maybe it's a world
Yeah.
dinner.
I think it's gonna be a damn dinner. Like I'm
Damn
coming
dinner.
Damn
Damn
Yeah.
dinner. You just
featuring Kashvi. Yeah.
whether you know it or not, you just coined that right now. The damn dinner at the next.
The damn dinner. That sounds awesome. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate all of your like hard work that goes into making this podcast and the fact that you guys have so much fun while you're at it. That's the most important thing. So thank you for having me and for sharing your stories and for answering all my questions. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Have a good night. You get some rest.
Yes. Thank you.
Bye.